How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. This is JR with the JR Wisdom channel. Once again, you have tuned in to the Wisdom Hour. Shout out to everybody who may be tuning in. I'm sorry it took so long to get on here. I meant to do this one earlier, but I'm on here now. So I felt it was important that I'm going to be talking about this topic, give you a little story time, give you a little background on me for those of you who are new subscribers and don't really know about me and know about my background and haven't been one of the OG subs from way back in 2017, 2018 when I was heavy on here. But here I am, and I'm going to be talking about the ramifications of divorce. This is not a video telling you not to get married. I had a talk with someone earlier, and I was telling them that I was going to be going live talking about this. And they were like, well, I hope you're not doing that to try and, deter people from getting married, so on and so forth. And I was like, I'm definitely not. I'm just going to give my experience on it, because I was married and I've been through the divorce process. And I think people should know if that's something that they're going to be getting involved in, or if that's something that they're planning on doing. They should know the good and the bad. Obviously, divorce isn't good for anyone, but it is something that is allowed, something that's permissible, and it does go down. And depending on your situation, how far along you on, if you don't have a prenup involved, it could get really, really wicked, could be very detrimental to your mental health, detrimental to your wallet, your bank account, your children's lives, basically your overall livelihood. You guys could potentially end up in, jail, prison, or dead. And it's happened to, countless men and women, but this is specifically geared towards the men. But without further ado, just to let you know, I don't practice law or anything like that. This isn't legal advice. I just wanted to put that out there. Depending on your state, it may be different, but I know for the most part, how things go in family court and divorce court tends to be the same, with the exception of whatever statutes each state has in terms of that. But, dudes are getting screwed all over the country. You know what I mean? So, few housekeeping notes really quickly. I have, I'm going to cover, this topic, but if anybody wants to call in and share their war story, by all means, the link, I got the link here. You guys can definitely tune in or call in and share your thoughts in terms of that, what you may have been through. Cause I know there's some dudes that, I know some doozies. My situation wasn't the best. It definitely wasn't the worst, because I was one of the few that definitely didn't have to pay any type of alimony or child support, even though I had children in my situation. I thought I had already pinned it in here, but I guess not. Let's go ahead and pin it in the chat here. That way you guys can call in if you feel the need to. Let's do this invite. Shout out to Afi Kingdom podcast. Day one in the building. I don't know, man, brother. Okay, I don't even know I recognize the name. My life would have been better if my parents didn't get divorced. They both dropped the ball, and so did my grandparents. They got divorced as well. Hey, that's another thing that we don't talk enough, collateral damage, if you will, or what happens. So let's go ahead and link this in the chat here. Taking a little bit too long. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm going to try not to get too carried away. What's up, Dilly? What's happening? Shout out to the D. All right, I just pinned it in the chat. So without further ado, guys, let's get into it. So for those of you who don't know, I am JR Wisdom. And I was married. I got married. If you guys haven't seen my background, I did a video where I kind of broke this down on O'Shea's channel. or the interview. I got married back in very young. I was in the military. If you guys didn't know, joined the military back in 2000. I met my wife in 2001. She was also in the Army, just like me, in Korea. And like a lot of young troops do, a lot of young soldiers do, you know, you end up getting married with someone quick, you know, for different reasons. Some people get married just to get more pay, get up in housing, so, you know, different reasons. So I got married because I didn't have a father in my life. That's why I got married. So anyway, she was young. She was young. I was young. I was 18, and we got married right after I turned 19. So I only knew her for maybe 7 months when we got married. We didn't have anything. We were privates in the Army, making what, $800 or $1,000 a month or something like that. So basically both of us together was like $2,000 a month at this time. So I got married, and we were together. Basically, we were kids. We were together from 2000. We got married in 2002, and we were together. We had 3 kids, and we were together from 2002 to 2014. Right, 2014. You know, and I wrote a book on this the first year of the situation that happened. You guys can check it out. I'll try to link it in here. I'll link it in the comments here as well, or put it on here for the you guys to check out the book here. I'm gonna put another banner here while I'm talking. So like I said, we were kids, so she really didn't know who she wanted, who she was. I didn't know who I was, man. And that was one of the biggest issues. So we had kids, and we shouldn't have, but we shouldn't have been married, period. You know what I'm saying? So basically, I had gotten out of the military. We moved back east, and I'll put this one on here too. So you guys can, my link tree, all my stuff is on my link tree right there. You guys can just type that in. It'll take you to my link tree. You guys can pick up the book, Puppeteering with Heartstrings, where I talk about the first year of my separation, coming back from Afghanistan or whatever. But anyway, it's all in the book. So anyway, 2012, I got in the Army, and then I went and deployed over to Afghanistan. Not deployed. I was a contractor. So you might have said deploy, whatever you want to call it. Took a contract and gig in Afghanistan, 2012. So I was not around. This is like the first time for an extended period of time I wasn't around, and she was around new people. So with me not being around, she got surrounded by a different group of people who encouraged her to live her life, which, you know, it is what it is. We're married, but she decided to do her thing. You know what I mean? So she did that. And, you know, behind my back, she was doing stuff, going out to clubs, you know, hanging out, probably sleeping around. Who knows? So the more she was doing this, the less that she was feeling the married life and taking care of the kids. So with that being said, I started noticing things while I was over in Afghanistan. I would come home every 4 months, 3 or 4 months on R&R vacation. Start noticing her doing different stuff or whatever, being distant or whatever. Then eventually got to the point where she just didn't want to take care of the kids anymore, because this life that she got introduced to by these women, she fell in love with it because she was getting so much attention, being able to party, basically she was able to live the life she never got to live, or should have lived, that whole phase, if you will. She never got to live it before. So now she got the chance to live that whole phase. So she embraced it wholeheartedly. But she also wanted to, let me rewind it. So she said she couldn't take care of the kids anymore. So basically she ends up begging me to come back from Afghanistan to take care of the kids, or help her take care of the kids. So I came back, really didn't have a job in mind. Really didn't have a job, you know, planned, but I had money saved up. So I was going to figure something out. And those of you who've been following me, you probably saw the post I made on YouTube where I kind of talked about this. I made a post on the community tab. You guys probably saw it. So I come back. As soon as I come back, start arguing, things not work out, things are said. We get into an argument. She just ups and leaves and moves in with one of the girls that she was partying with. And they're going half on the rent or whatever. So while she's doing this, I don't have a job. I'm kind of trying to get my CDL at the time. But I got money, I got money stacked up from being in Afghanistan. So she's just like, I don't want to be with you. I need to live my life. I need to do my thing. You know what I'm saying? I need to discover myself, what I want to do, so on and so forth. You can take care of the kids, so on and so forth. So at this time, I go into complete simp mode because I'm just left this lucrative job in my eyes. And I'm trying to get her back. She won't come back. This question, it's like I said, it's questionable whether you're simping when it's your wife. But anyway, I still think it's simping. So if a woman doesn't want to be with you, she just doesn't want to be with you. That's just all it is. So anyway, trying for months to get her to come back. Meanwhile, she's advertising herself on club flyers and stuff all around the town, all around the city, and all these things like that. Not doing anything for the kids at all. She just turns into this completely different person. Hanging out, partying, fucking sucking whoever, doing menages, threesomes. And I'm not just, this isn't conjecture. This is actual proven stuff. It's not, I have all this. I say this to say all this was provided to the judge in court. So it's not like I'm just making shit up. So just for you saying, how do you know she was doing that? Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, all this stuff was presented to the court in divorce. But anyway, so I'm simping hard, trying to get her back. She won't come back, right? And so somebody was like, yo, man, people talking to me like, yo, you got to strike while the iron's hot. She left you with the kid. You taking care of the kid. She left you. Now is the prime time for you to file for divorce, which it's a no-brainer. If a woman says she doesn't want to be with you and you try to work it out, yo, go ahead and get a divorce. You know what I'm saying? Especially she showed herself or whatever. So I say she left in like, this was a June. So I didn't file for divorce till November. So from June, she left in June, July timeframe. I filed for divorce in November, right? So she didn't get served until January. So the process is, if you're going to get divorced, I know in my state, a lot of times they want you to be separated. Like they want you to be separated for at least a year. I guess that's called a cool off period, right? So that whole cool off period is just in case you guys happen to get back together or something like that. So I don't know if all state, depending on your state, is different. So I file on the ground. I forgot what the grounds I filed for, but it was just a general filing, basically irreconcilable differences or something like that. Obviously, depending on your state, it's going to cost you. You got to fill out all the documentation. You got to know where the person lives at. Basically providing everything on an affidavit, swearing this is what's going on. XYZ, summons, complaint. Like I said, all this legal stuff, your attorney can go over it with you. You guys can shout out to the lead attorney. He probably covers this on his channel. I'm not an attorney. I'm just giving you guys my experience. So this is not legal advice, once again. I get all that, I gather all the documentation I have, the pictures, the things she said, the phone calls, all this stuff I gather and I present to the attorney. Along with the fact that she left the family dwelling and she left her kids as well. So she just straight up abandoned the family. So it's kind of a no-brainer. You would think, right? It's a no-brainer. Because I'm thinking for people who've never been married, you think that divorce is like a easy thing. You just say, I want to get a divorce, and you get a divorce. It doesn't happen like that. Even if somebody, if it's adultery or whatever, it just doesn't happen like that. There's something called contested and uncontested, or non-contested, whatever you want to call it. If you have kids, it's automatically contested. If you have property, I wouldn't say it's automatically contested, but it's just you guys can really two people who are adults can really just come together and without any emotions and just say, hey, we don't want to be together. Let's just fill out the documentation and do that. But the attorney's job is to put a battery in the back of the other person or engage them to get emotional, so on and so forth. So I had an attorney, and she was served with documentation. They filed in November, so she was served the documentation in January, and I think we had a temporary hearing like 2 weeks later, which you can do that. So we had a temporary hearing. She was ordered to pay child support for the 3 kids. Obviously, if shoes were on the other foot, if I would have did that, I would have had to pay child support. I would have had to pay the mortgage. I would have had to pay the upkeep of the household, so on and so forth. But because she's a woman, and I'm going to say this, and you guys can get upset all you want, she didn't have to do any of that. So she was paying the rent with her female roommate, and her female roommate had a child as well. So she was helping pay the rent at their place and taking care of their household. But she wasn't ordered to do that. So, I mean, I could hold on at that point. I could hold on my household anyway. But that's the only thing they ordered her to pay was child support. And she didn't even pay that. So she didn't have an attorney. So she made like one child support payment. Then she stopped making all the child support payments. And so it kept backing up. So then basically, I contacted court and I'm like, yo, she's not making any payments or whatever, so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. And so they're like, okay, you need to file this. And so I filed it. They ordered her to pay the court instead of paying me. She didn't pay the court either. Right. So I tell them, I'm like, okay, she's not paying the court. What's going on? They're like, okay, we're going to rule her in. They go to rule her in. I had to fill out documentation for that, for them to rule her in. They rule her in. This woman would hide, like at her job. When the sheriff would come to her job, she would hide in the closet. Or if somebody was looking for her, she would try and hide from the process server, or the process server would tell her, several times throughout that following year, she would hide from the process server from getting served. Meanwhile, she's, doing her thing in the streets and, dealing with different men, so on and so forth, not taking care of a kid, but she just won't, common sense as a man, if you don't want to be with a woman, you'd be like, okay, whatever I got to do, let's keep this moving. Let's get this over with. She didn't do that. She would duck, hide, dodge from the process. And in order to get served, you have to serve the documentation. There's something called drop serving, but you have to serve the documentation to that person, right? She would make it almost difficult, like completely difficult each time. So I think within that first year, she got ruled in like 4 or 5 times. I think 4 or 5 times for failure to pay child support, so on and so forth. Meanwhile, my attorney's reaching out to her to try and come up with, an agreement like, hey, you guys, within this year, let's come up with an agreement to settle for the final divorce hearing. She wouldn't answer my attorney's phone calls. She would not get an attorney. Nothing. Sending her letters, try to every means of getting in contact with her. She would not respond to my attorney. And you would think that if someone's not responding to you, like she'll show up to the court hearings, but they'll just go easy on her. And let her just, let her do her thing. So I think she ended up getting arrested one time and they let her out for the child support thing. She's still doing her thing, partying all the clubs, so on and so forth. So this year passes by, right? And we serve her again for the final hearing because we're trying to contact her like, hey, what do you want? What do you want to do? This is what we're doing. No response, no nothing. So I ended up changing attorneys. In order to change attorneys in the middle of an action, you have to get the other party has to consent to it or whatever, or acknowledge it. She would not acknowledge it. We had to go to court just for her. We had to serve her with paperwork just for her to acknowledge that I had a new attorney. This is how much of a racket the court system is. You constantly have to spend money to appear before a judge. So we get in front of the next hearing, which is like a few weeks or a month later for the final hearing. She gets served. She's still not responding to my new attorney. We show up to the final hearing and we're like, hey, you know, we're here for the final hearing. We're here to make this temporary order, which I had according to the temporary order, I had full custody of the kids. She had visitation every other weekend and she was ordered to pay child support. And I kept all my property. I assumed all the debt because I just wanted to get the shit over with. I assumed all the debt, from the credit card debt to everything. And so we show up, we get in front of the judge. They're like, okay, you know, she hasn't been contacted. And so we, you know, whatever, So they're like, okay, my attorney's like, we would like to make this, it's been a year. We'd like to make this, this temporary order, a final order. And I had my witness there to say that we were separated for a year. And, he's like, okay, so he was like, Mr. Edie, you guys know my last name anyway. Mr. Edie, would you like to move forward with this? I'm like, hell yeah. And they asked her, they're like, okay, miss, are you comfortable with moving forward without an attorney? She said, no. Do you agree to the terms of this? She said, no. Well, we can't move forward. I hereby dismiss this case. So a year of that, they dismissed the divorce, the filing for divorce, the suit, the lawsuit, if you will. They dismissed it. So basically, by them dismissing it, that stopped everything. She no longer was bound to visitation, child support, whatever. So if she wanted to, she could literally pick the kids up from school and take them, and there would be nothing I could do about it because the court order is null and void because the case is dismissed. If you guys understand, that's why it's so important. You think, depending on your state, that by default that they're your kids when they're really not your kids. As far as custody is fluid a lot of times. If in my state, once you have a child with a woman, it's like de facto that she's the primary custodian. This is unwed if you're not married, right? If you're not married, that's why it is important if you're married, if you're having kids, to be married in terms of custody. But in my state, if the woman automatically becomes the primary custodial parent, you don't have any rights as a father. You'd have to literally file suit to get visitation rights to see your own child if you're not married in my state. I don't know how it is in other states, but you guys might want to look into that, right? So at that point, she could literally, obviously, she could, I guess she could technically come in my house because it's still her house, it's still the marital home. She could still come in the house, even though she hadn't been living there in over a year. So I'm like, what am I going to do at this point? I've spent all this money, no, I don't live in California. I've spent all this money trying to get divorced from this woman, and this woman's living her best life, fucking and sucking whoever. At this point, I think at this point she was bringing dudes because I'm in my late 30s. Her boyfriend's like 30 years older than her, but I guess she finally settled down with a simp that was like 30 years older than her. And I know they watch my lives. So they watch all my videos. So yeah, she ended up settling. We're married. She's bringing this guy to my son's football games. All the while to our son's football games. Let me correct that. So at this point, I'm telling my lawyer, well, what the hell do we do now? He was like, we have to file again. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, so she can just keep doing this. She can just keep like, we'll move this over some because I don't want you guys all that thing in the background, that TV. I'm like, so she can just keep doing this. She can just keep running away and ducking and dodging, and as long as she don't have an attorney, she can just keep. And they're just like, and maybe I just had some shitty attorneys. Maybe that could be it, you know. So anyway, we go to file again. So we file again. Well, actually, I filed again without an attorney. I filed again, served her or whatever, had to pay for all that. And by this time, she got an attorney. Her attorney would not respond to anything that when I tried to contact him, all that. So I retained an attorney again, and I was like, hey, this is a situation, blah, 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 da, 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 da. Give him the background on it. And he's like, okay, well, hopefully we're able to get this. We'll put all these things in place. We'll get a guardian ad litem involved. And you guys will also have to go through, what's the term that I'm looking for, guys? You know what I'm saying? You guys will also have to go through mediation. Excuse me. So you guys will have to go through mediation. Right? So by this time, she's living in a hotel, right? So she moved into, while all this was going on, her and her friend, her girlfriend who had another child that they were, living together, were splitting the rent. But once she was forced to pay child support, she couldn't really afford to pay her rent anymore. So they were like behind every month, like getting eviction notices every month, till they got caught up or whatever. And it got to the point, I guess, where they wouldn't renew the lease. So she moved into one of those extended stay hotels, and she didn't have a car. So living in an extended stay hotel, no car, and still fighting for custody, right? Of 3 children. Her attorney basically countered everything that I was requesting and she was requesting. So this is a woman who hadn't been with her kids for over a year, living in a hotel, no car, requesting full custody of the kids, requesting child support, requesting alimony. Got a job. Requesting alimony, accusing me of adultery because I was supposed to sit at home because I had already got another girl anyway. Accused me of adultery, even though she was, living hot girl summer year round, and had a boyfriend. Accusing me, I'm just reading these things. Where was the guy that she was taking to the games? I don't know. I guess he's broke. He's married too. The guy, her boyfriend, he's married also. So just let's just bring that into effect also. And he wouldn't help her anyway. He was just, I guess, her confidant or just smashing the buns. But he was married too, and his wife knew that my wife was the mistress. Isn't that funny? He couldn't help her with rent or child support. Nah. She even when she went to jail for child support, he wouldn't bond her out. And she was still with him, but that's neither here nor there. So, yeah, my life's a movie. So, where was I? So yeah, she was asking for all of that, asking for alimony, accused me of adultery, even though she had a boyfriend. Saying that I would only be granted visitation if the kids wanted to see me. Keep in mind, I got full custody of the kids at this time. I've had full custody of the kids for over a year. But she's asking for all this stuff with not a place to stay or a car. And she's behind and she hasn't been paying any type of child support. So anyway, we go through the BS. So keep in mind, I'm having to pay these retainers, and I'm having to pay all this time on an attorney, money that I should be taking care of my kids with, but I'm having to fight her in court with this bullshit, right? So So we have to get a guardian ad litem involved. For those of you who don't know what a guardian ad litem is, a guardian ad litem is when you have children or something along the lines of that. They're a third party who basically have no interest in the case that's hired to come check out your life. It's some places it's not an attorney. Here in South Carolina, I think where I'm at is it has to be an attorney, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So it's usually an attorney. So keep in mind, you know how much attorneys charge by the hour. So they come check out, they do the research on you, on both parents, see how both of you guys are living or whatever, and determine who's best suited, and they'll give their suggestion to the judge. They'll type up a report and give their suggestion to the court based upon each parent's lifestyle. So obviously, I got my own house, I got my own job, I've been taking care of the kids for a year, and you don't really want to in court. You really don't want to change the status quo of the living situation of children, because it's very important. Routine is very important. Obviously, I don't have to explain this to y'all. So with that being said, I think that was an additional $3,000, $3,000 or $4,000, depending. But the cool thing about that is you guys have to split that between the two parents. One person doesn't have to pay, but depending on where you're at, it could be a lot more. So that's an additional $4,000 to get a third party involved to come check out both your living situations to see who has the best living situation for that. So while all this is going on, we're still trying to communicate with her attorney. This guy's not really speaking back in the situation. He's not like responding to anything else. He's asking, then he finally gets back, and you have things called interrogatories or whatever, where you have to respond just in case for trial if you can't agree on things. Okay, is it true that you said this to her on this date? Is it true that you sent this email? Is it true that you called her? Is it true that, that you have a girlfriend? Is it true that, shit like that. So you ask both sides that just in case you have to go to trial. So there is such thing as called as going to trial in a divorce, guys, if you will. So that's if you just can't agree on anything, right? But that's what mediation is for. If you can't get it done in mediation and you guys just can't come to an agreement, then that's where that comes in at. So keep in mind, she's still not really paying child support while all this is going on. So we end up having a temporary hearing again, and she ends up having to pay child support again or whatever have you. So it's a bunch of BS that happened in between there that I really can't recall that was going on, that she wasn't doing. So we ended up going to mediation, right? Mediation is by the hour as well. And I think you have to split that also. So I think mediation is like the attorney's fee or whatever. It's usually an attorney as well, depending on your state. I think that can be anywhere from $300 to $400, whatever the attorney's fee is, $250 to $300 an hour. We did mediation. It took all day. I think it went from like 9 to like 4. This is a person, keep in mind, this is a person that has nothing to stand on, but this is the way the law is set up. My situation, she had no place to stay. She was living in a hotel for a long time, no vehicle, hadn't made any payments on anything, on any of the bills, the household, nothing. Wasn't paying child support, all types of stuff, right? But she was still wanting all this stuff, right? So, and keep in mind, I'm taking care of my household and having to pay bills at the same time, but having to fight this foolishness and keep in mind, she's still doing her thing. I guess she's got her boyfriend, but I guess she's also doing her thing or whatever. Anyway, I guess it's her boyfriend, but he's married. Whatever, I don't know. So it goes into that. So finally, they just sit down and they's like, look, it's just not you really don't have anything here. You abandoned your kids. You haven't been involved. And she's just sitting in there fighting because we're in separate rooms, obviously, but they're telling me what she's saying. My attorney is telling me along with the mediator coming back. Well, the mediator is telling me because my attorney stays in there with me. And he's like, listen, you did this, this, and this. You really don't have a dog in this fight. I mean, so she was just finally like, fine. And she just went ahead and signed it or whatever. And that was, so this is the second time filing for divorce. So I filed for divorce in January 2015, right? We didn't get divorced till December 2016. So what should have only taken a year ended up going almost 2 years. Because, and what should have been a clear-cut divorce, if you leave somebody, just so everything I just told you guys, imagine if the roles were reversed. And I had did that to her. Imagine if the roles were reversed. How that would have played out. Everybody knows how that would have played out. So me not having to pay anything other than to get the divorce, I had to go through all that BS. But just imagine if the roles were reversed. You know what I'm saying? And let's say she just wanted to divorce me and she kicked me out of the house for some reason. And she moved a guy in, because there's women that you get kicked out of the house, out of your own house. You have to pay the mortgage, the upkeep, all this other stuff, separate maintenance of the household. And she still got a dude that's knocking her down in your house, in your bed. And I can see why dudes go crazy. You know what I'm saying? This whole situation is something that, like, your head would explode just trying to digest like what's going on, and how the courts are just like, it's money. You really, when you're in the thick of it, you're like, man, this is all about money. These people don't care. I'm just showing up, and they're like, okay, so, and what? You know, okay, well, this will be scheduled for this date. And it consumed, I know it consumed me. It would consume anyone, man. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, I'm just like, how can, and I guess people don't go through the same thing I went through, but I'm like, you got people getting married 3, 4, 5 times, and they still continue to do it. In this case, I think I talked about everything other than, let's just say, if we didn't come to terms and mediation, there's something called trial. And that means because that's what we were gearing up. We were preparing for that by answering the interrogatories, because she would not give in. She basically wanted me to give up. This is how evil mofos are. She wanted me to give up because she knew I wanted a divorce from her. And this is a woman. She knew I wanted a divorce from her, and she refused to sign that document. That's all she had to do. Like, I was at the point where I was like, yo, I don't even care. Don't even pay child support anymore. I don't care. I'm willing to remove everything. You can walk away. You can visit the kids, whenever. You don't have to pay child support. I think she was even like, I was willing to drop all this stuff, and she would not do it. She would not do it. Like, she was facing a felony because she pulled a gun on me, right? Way back. And I told her, I was like, look, man, if you sign paper, I'll drop the charges. She was like, no, I'm not dropping nothing. I'm not doing nothing. Didn't have all that stuff I went over from you. I said, drop the charges, drop child support. You can see the kids when you want. She still was like, no. And this is someone who left the family. This is how crazy this is why it's just like, for you to have to go, if you end up, because the thing is, man, when you get married, it's for better or worse, right? That's what it's supposed to be, for better or worse, right? But anything can happen. That person today is not the person you'll know a few months from now, a year from now, 5, 10, 15 years from now. You got people getting divorced in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. And where's your identity at that point? Just imagine somebody leaving your ass. I'm glad it happened in my early 30s. Just imagine somebody leaving you in your 40s, 50s, or your 40s, I guess, but 50s and 60s. Like, you're at the end of your life, and your life partner at this point just ups and leaves. Up and leaves. You know what I'm saying? Another thing I wanted to talk about was adultery. So adultery, when you file for divorce for adultery, it doesn't really mean anything. It's just a reason to get divorced, right? It doesn't grant you anything special other than alimony. Let's just say if you caught your wife cheating and you have proof that your wife was cheating, you don't have to pay her alimony. You still have to pay child support. Assets are still divided the same. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I appreciate it, Alan, man. It's shout out to the bro here, always showing support, man. Already appreciate you, man. Thank you. Just trying to give you guys some game here. You know what I'm saying? But adultery is just a reason to get divorced. It doesn't. It only plays a part, to my knowledge. A state may be different, state to state, but it only affects alimony. It doesn't affect the way assets are divided. It doesn't affect child support. It doesn't affect any of those things. So you can put an adult filing for divorce with adultery as the reason is just, you know what I'm saying? You can walk in on somebody dead in the act, just straight up going in, take pictures and everything. Because it's usually hard to prove adultery other than the obvious. But at the end of the day, it doesn't help out any, man. That alimony, if you guys are going to get married, only advice I have to you is not legal advice. Yo, get a prenup. If you're going to have kids, in terms of that, I would most certainly, because custody can become an issue. I would definitely recommend you gentlemen getting married. If you're going to get married, period, just have a prenup, man. Just have it and make sure it's airtight, and you check out the laws in your state and things like that. But I know, South Carolina is a no fault state, but South Carolina is a state that still wants to see marriages. It's a red state, so they still want to see families stay together in that aspect. So they make it very difficult to get divorced. So, and family courts are in support of the woman anyway. They're going to drag you, even if you're an upstanding guy, they're going to drag you, man. It plays with your mental, and women know that, and their girlfriends are most certainly going to be like, do this, this, and this, do this, this, and this, and you got that in your ear pumping you up, getting that pep rally, that motivation, telling you to drag this guy. And this is a person, regardless of what happens, this is someone that you were once in love with, or supposedly in love with, man. And they say, there's a saying that goes, in criminal court, allegedly, for those who are guilty, you have bad people on their best behavior, or whatever, on their best behavior. But when you go into family and divorce court, it's basically grown folks acting like children, arguing, bickering over the simplest thing, because the emotion. Somebody always wants to stay in any of these things. Somebody always wants to stay married in the situation, for the most part. Even if somebody, a lot of times, like I said, it's usually a woman who wants to destroy a man, and not the other way around. Because, like I said, that's a feminine characteristic. Any man that wants to destroy a woman in that, or wants to hold on to a woman in a divorce when she wants out, regardless of the situation, and wants to destroy a woman, that's a feminine characteristic. It's usually women that want to drag, the guy in the situation, instead of, it's very, very few are amicable or not contested at the end of the day. If that, that's more kudos. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. There aren't uncontested there. I'm not saying that there aren't uncontested divorces. It does happen, but I think that takes a lot, and that's some people who really didn't develop any feelings or amassed any property or children or anything like that. In my opinion, that's the way I feel about it. Let me just read some of these comments. Somewhere there is someone still seeing her side. Of course, man. It's nobody's ever. It takes like I said, as men, we have to be bone cold honest and tell the truth about what we got going on, and not lie about things. But it takes because a woman admitting that she's wrong or she did something wrong is completely against her nature to admit that she's wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's almost unheard of. And her to say, yeah, I did it. I was wrong. I'm wrong in this situation. I just want to sign the paper. Let's move on. It's always the get back, and it's always somebody in the ear. What if you sign a prenup? Do you still split property? That's a question for an attorney. But I would think if it's documented and you have it on paperwork and it's signed, you both of you agree to it and sign under no duress or whatever, then yeah. I would think most states though, there's a thing called marital property, which is property that you amass during the marriage. If you had that property before, then that's not marital property. Unless you put their name on it on the title. Makes me think Sonya Curry divorce is going to end up like, I don't know, man. It's when you got old people. I don't know. I think because I've been through it, I just don't give a damn. Like, if you want to fight over stuff, old people are petty too, man. Not to say they're too old, but they just get petty as hell. How much money do you fucking need? People can come to an agreement. People are just greedy, man, or just want to punish the other person. Women are the ones doing the divorcing. Doesn't seem like we want to get married too much. Yep. Lawyers get paid by making the divorce as chaotic as possible. Of course, got to drag it out as long as possible. That would be the best thing. Just get married without that paperwork. Way too risky to have marriage license or common law marriage. What state? This is South Carolina. So since then, outside of that, guys, obviously, once you get divorced, there's a court order issued, a divorce decree, or whatever if you have kids, all of that goes into, how much child support will be paid. If you're certain that is based off your circumstances at the time of the divorce. If you need a modification, you need to bring that before the court and request a hearing with the judge to modify if your situation changes, whether you get a job where you're no longer making that same amount of money, or you lose your job, things like that, because especially if you have to pay the court directly, you're going to end up with arrears, and that could end up with you, a bench warrant being issued for you and things like that. So that's something that you definitely need to do. Also, keep in mind, once your child turns 18, that doesn't automatically stop the child support, right? You have to still request a modification, or what is it called? I think it's called emancipation or something like that, where your child is 18 and the judge has to basically agree to that. It doesn't automatically stop when they turn 18, at least in my state. I think courts are, mostly that's the same way as well. Anything that happens during that, afterwards, like whether visitation or anything like that, I see you, man. I'm gonna bring you on here shortly. Anything that happens in terms of visitation or them not being in a specific place, location, somebody wants to move out of state, move to a different city, all that has to still go back through. You still have to go through court. They just can't up and leave because that court order is binding. The specifics are all in that court order, holidays, everything in there in terms. And I know I'm addressing children because that's one of the most important things. Everything else will be, in terms of property, the way it's divided, so on and so forth. Or you guys can just come to an agreement or pay off, whatever have you. A lot of times in terms of property, you may have to sell that property. If they're really vindictive, you'll have to sell that property and split it. The debt or whatever the hell, not the debt, well, whatever it is that you get out of it, the equity you get out of the home. Same thing with you're entitled to one car. I think they can't take your car away from you. You know what I'm saying? So, but all those assets, a lot of that stuff, you may have to divide it or either sell it, man. It's brutal. A lot of time, that's if you obtain it during while you're married. So just keep that in mind, guys. It's brutal, especially if you got somebody that's just like, nope. It gets real, in depth in terms of that. So prenup is almost necessary. And if you got a woman that's not down with it, then hey, you don't need to be offering her your hand in marriage if she's not down with it. Damn, almost like there's no point in getting married. That's why I look at it. I mean, that was my situation. I know mine isn't as bad as some guys out there because, like I said, I don't have to pay alimony. Shout out to Bobby Wright. Appreciate you, man. I don't have to pay alimony. I don't have to pay child support. Only thing I had to pay for was I had to absorb all the credit card debt and everything with that, which I'm fine with because I believe in karma at the end of the day. Whether you guys believe in karma or not, I was able to witness her karma in real time, how her life went about. So as long as you're taking care of your kids, man, you positive, you don't try to destroy anybody, man, you'll come out on top. That's what I had to say, man. Why is my light going supernova in the back? Because it's a candle. It's a candle light. That's why. Yeah, especially if the kids go to college. So as long as you do good, man, as long as you're honest and you're fair, man, and that's why a lot of times you see these women, the women who do try to go for this stuff, they don't end up living good lives, man. Especially if, the guy was really people grow apart. It happens. You know what I'm saying? People want to do their, especially I wasn't trying to be vicious or vindictive. I was trying to be fair and get the thing over with as soon as possible. But let's bring the homie on here, see what he's talking about here. Let me get my speakers right here so I can hear you. What's
Hi.
Up? Oh, excuse me. Sorry. How's it going? I couldn't see your face. You just put DO. I didn't know. It was
No problem. I would have shown it, but I'm really not camera ready at the moment.
Sure, no worries. What's up? What you got?
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you because I do watch your channel, but you did talk about you got married really, really young, and the question I wanted to ask you is, now that you're older, and I'm assuming that you have more assets than you did when you were younger, had the same situation happen to you right now, like at the stage that you're in your life right now, would you feel the exact same way? Because wouldn't you have more to split with your wife or your ex-wife? Sorry.
So when you say, only thing that I have more of now is cash. I don't really have. I still have the same amount of property that I had before. I haven't. This December will be 5 years, right? So it's not much more that I have other than liquid cash, if that makes sense. So I got more vehicles, but like I said, it was like in the situation with her, a lot of the stuff that I did accumulate, she wasn't doing anything with, even though, and I guess it turned out in my favor because she wasn't able to get any of that because she abandoned the household. You see what I'm saying? And that really doesn't strike her from being entitled to stuff because you can still completely leave your family and still be entitled to those assets, if that makes sense, because you're still married. So in
Yeah.
terms of the way I feel, like I don't I don't really understand what you're saying. Like I would I knowing what I know now, um you're dealing with a psycho, in my opinion. That's a psychotic, vindictive, deranged person. And you can't reason with that type of person. It was like what was that? And I hate to take it to the movies, but the best way I can think of is I think it was which Batman movie was that with Heath Ledger with the Joker? I can't
I
remember if that
have
was.
no idea.
Yeah, I know you probably don't know, but I don't want to say the Dark Knight, whatever, Dark Knight Rises, whatever, whichever one that was with Heath Ledger. Alfred was talking to him. He was basically saying you can't negotiate with that type of person. You can't reason. The Dark Knight. Somebody said the Dark Knight. You can't reason with that type of person. You can't. For you trying to understand the mentality of that type of person, they just have one thing on their mind, and that's destroying you, even if it's destroying themselves. So you can't. A friend of mine, he told me, he said, you can't reason with somebody unreasonable. It's you will drive yourself crazy, and that's what was happening to me, because I'm thinking from not a clear head, but I'm thinking from a reasonable standpoint of giving you everything, and not you walking away scot free. And you're just like, I know you want that, so I'm not going to give you that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if I'm definitely not answering your question, but the assets that you're talking about, I really don't have much more other than cash at this point. And is in terms of physical assets to split. You know what I mean? So if I had more, hypothetically, if you want to ask me hypothetically, I think it would still be the same situation. I would still be in the same situation I was in before, because I'm dealing with a character. You know what I mean? So regardless, if I could have been living in an apartment or with no assets, and she would have still been the same person. You understand?
Yeah.
So if that makes sense, because that's what it boils down to. I just want this, whatever this person wants. I'm gonna be contentious, and I'm gonna be the exact opposite. Whatever he wants, I'm gonna do the opposite. Whatever he wants to do, and that's just how she was the entire 2 years. It was everything was the exact opposite. Oh, he wants to do this. Oh, I'm not gonna do that. Oh, he's gonna serve me with paperwork. Let me hide. Oh, oh, he I don't have to pay child support. I don't care. So I know that doesn't answer your question, but yeah, that was her mentality. And maybe if you've ever dealt with somebody like that, uh, you'll know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't dealt with somebody like that, then you'll never understand.
I know exactly what you're talking about because I'm a woman. I'm not like that, but I
Right.
know why women do that.
Yeah.
It's
I
just to be extra spiteful and really
just
to
to
try to
be
hurt the other person.
Yeah, that whole, hell hath no fury like a woman scorn is, but women do it, and it doesn't make you a better person, like I said. And like I said, I've yet to see a woman conduct herself like that, and it turn out good in the end. You know what I'm saying? Or her happy. Uh, that's a sure sign of a person that's unhappy, because if you're happy, you want to see other people happy. And I
Yeah.
learned that throughout that process. I'm like, this woman cannot be happy. You cannot be happy if you're as happy as you are out there in those streets and living your best life. You wouldn't give a damn what the hell I got going on. You would sign that shit immediately. I know I would. If I was, think about it. If you're really that happy with your life, why would you want to stop something why would you want to make people who purposely want to make other people unhappy are unhappy themselves? They're miserable. That goes for anybody in this world, not just divorce. People who go out, whether we're talking about racism or any type of ism there is out there, or phobia that people project onto others. These are miserable people. It's a mental thing where if you want to see somebody suffer, you are an unhappy person. I don't care what anybody says. And that's a sure sign of somebody that's it's depression. It's depression. Depression is trying to control something, right? You're trying to be, especially with women, it's a sure sign of depression when you're trying to be in control, especially to that point. Just my opinion. So
Now, I want to ask you this.
sure.
Did you see any of those signs when you guys were dating?
You know what's funny? And you sound like somebody I know your voice, but I can't place anyway. I'll digress. I'll digress. Do I know you?
No, you did not.
Okay, I'm just making sure, because you sound like somebody I know. So, I was asking. I've been asked that question several times, actually. Um, did you see those signs? Um, there were certain moments, but not to that extent that she would do that. Even people who knew her, who knew us, would tell you I never could have saw her doing that. I never, and not in a million years, because she was like the straight up mother of the year, arts and crafts, all events, attending everything. She was great housewife, cook, clean, everything. And I couldn't see, and from my siblings to people, like I said, people that knew us, say I never could have saw her doing that. But it's the power of when women are very impressionable, in my opinion, and there's some women that are weaker than others. Some women don't listen, but if you want that in your heart, if that's something that you want, along with, maybe you may be feeling some type of way. And I'm not going to sit here, and as I always say, some guys that watch my channel, a lot of guys actually will pretend that they're the perfect man and they don't do anything wrong. I'm definitely not saying that. you know um I wasn't an abuser. Definitely wasn't an abuser. Never put my hands on her. Nothing like that. Did I argue? Yeah. Did we argue? Yeah. Did I take care of my family? Did she ever have to work? No. Could she come and go? Could she work if she wanted to? Could she come and go as she pleased? Yep. Did she pretty much get everything she want? Yep. But to say, see the signs, maybe I was just young. I had been with her so long, I got used to it. And maybe I was blind. You know what I'm saying? So, but to say that she would ever, what she did, nah. And even people, like I said, a lot of my family members agreed to. I never saw that. Never saw that coming. So, yeah. I know from outside looking in, you can kind of like, you didn't see anything? You sure? And because I ask people things like that as well. When from people that I've done lives with and I've talked to them in the past, and even guys that I do consultations with, I'll ask the same question. You've never seen it, signs or whatever, blah, blah, blah. No, not to that extent. You know what I'm saying? Not at all. But I think it's a point where things are supposed to happen. Whatever's supposed to happen. Experiences that we have, we're supposed to experience, and it's to learn certain things. And I don't think I would have had it any other way. When I think about it, I'm glad that it happened because I was asleep for so long. And what are you laughing about? What's so funny?
Like you was asleep for so long.
Yeah, I really didn't, because if you with one person your whole life, what do you know? You don't know anything except that one person. And if you're used to a certain lifestyle, you really don't know life until you experience, a bunch of, some people will disagree, but if you, I really didn't learn how to, other than me knowing how to treat her, I really didn't know that much about women. I knew about a woman, but not about women, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I learned a lot about women after me and her, separated. And about what women want, and the mentality of a woman, and how to spot certain things, and what you should be doing, and how to effectively communicate with a woman. I guess that's what I learned the most at that point. So yeah, did I have that before? Nah, I didn't have that ability to effectively communicate with her. And could I have done therapy? Yeah. Should we have had therapy a long time ago? Yeah. But at that point, it was too far gone. So that's something that she did bring up, and I'll admit that. And listen to me, I'm talking to you like you a therapist or some shit. Um, that's something that she did bring up, which I was totally against, but that was my immaturity. You know what I'm saying? And when I wanted to do therapy, it was too late. So
Right.
yeah,
Now this is interesting. I'm really interested. Like this is really interesting. But what I want to say is I do feel bad. Um, the fact that a lot of people are getting divorces, it's
right.
really scary. It is really sad. And I know, some people are talking about the positive side of after the divorce, but it's like you from your situation, you seem to be all right and you seem to be okay. But I know a couple of men that have been extremely financially destroyed um,
Absolutely.
from that process.
Of course.
And
Hell yeah.
it's really hard to come back up because society is like, okay, you're a woman, okay, you're cute, you're funny, you're sweet. We're gonna try to help you as much as possible, but then when it comes to the man, it's like, oh, you're a man, you should be able to take anything. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Pick up yourself, and it's like that's, whew. I don't even want to think about it, but that's really sad when I think about it.
No, you're absolutely right. And that's why you heard me, if you was watching this from the beginning, you heard me say, I don't, regardless of what I said, that's the story I just gave y'all. I don't think my situation, because I probably would have committed a murder, to be honest with you, the where my head was at. Because if my head was like at that point where I was at during that, if that, what these guys go through in terms of you getting kicked out of your house, the house that you paid for, and you have to do X, Y, and Z, and she she has a man up in there around your kids, even though she's not supposed to. She has a man up in there around your kids, going to town, living, drinking all your shit, eating out, raising your kids. That's it, and you're yeah, it's some shit going on out here, man. So yeah, I think I came out because I don't have to pay anything. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have to pay anything. So I think I came out on top in that aspect. But yeah, there's some guys that's destroyed, homeless. Get your shit together. You're a man. Uh, you're paying alimony and child support, and you all your
Wait,
assets.
hold up. I'm so sorry. You said alimony and child support?
Yeah. So
Ooh.
you guys know. So alimony, if you guys didn't know, and your attorney can tell you this, you can claim alimony as a deduction on your taxes. Child support, you can't. So that's something that if you guys didn't know, even though you don't want to pay alimony anyway, but if you're gonna go that route, the alimony portion of it, you can claim that on your taxes as a descent.
What is alimony? Exactly, what is that?
Where are you from?
I'm from the UK.
You're from the UK.
Yep.
Your UK accent isn't that thick. Where are you from though, originally?
Why are you
What's so
asking me
funny?
that?
Because you got a Caribbean accent. That's why I'm asking.
How did you know that?
I mean,
Okay, no,
I've been all over the world. Talk to me
St.
just for
Kitts.
a little bit. You know what I mean?
St. Kitts, do you know where that is?
Yeah, I know where St. Kitts is. I mean, it sounds like you've been to the States. So everybody from the States isn't dumb. I'm definitely not one of those. Yeah, St. Kitts. But yeah, you don't know what alimony is.
No, I mean I know what it is. It's a payment that somebody the man, or okay, I guess usually the man has to pay after marriage to support the woman. But
Y-
why do you have to pay that? I guess is what I'm asking.
Yeah, so basically, like for example, right? If me and you got married and we were together, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, and you never worked, right? And we got divorced, and you don't have any life skills, you don't have a degree, anything, and we got divorced, and you were used to this lifestyle that I was providing you, and now that we're divorced, um, what do you have? You don't have any source of income at this point. You were used to a certain amount of lifestyle living with me, but now you no longer have that lifestyle. Regardless of if assets or whatever have you, that alimony is designed for a certain period of time for you to sustain that lifestyle you had. up until the point you decide to get married again. So that's what it's for. In a nutshell, to my understanding, I never had to pay it, but to my understanding, that's what it's for. So yeah, and I think there's such thing as palimony, if that's really a word, that women have to pay guys. I think in the other way, but yeah, that's something that is designed for those women who never really worked or don't have any skills.
That's interesting.
In the job force. Why is that interesting? You sound like
That's so interesting because in the society that I was brought up in, you're just on your own.
Yeah, the U.S.
That's why you don't get divorced.
I was in Jamaica back in I was in Jamaica in April, and I was talking to the guy who I went through a company. They were showing me around and everything, and he was telling me about how it is down there, and from child support to everything, and they just get off with everything. So yeah, the U.S. is about making money. The U.S. is the court system. You're gonna get abused. They're gonna make their money. They're gonna make their coin. It's a racket in terms of that. And the society, that's where it's driven. I don't know why it's on the tip of my tongue. You guys help me out. The when you're trying to think of a damn word and it doesn't come to it doesn't come to you. But we're the number one country in terms of what's the damn word when you're trying to make fucking money? We're a company. We're a corporation in itself. So any means necessary, we're gonna make that money, and you're gonna make sure that the woman is taken care of. So yeah, if you want to get paid, come to the U.S. So yeah, is your wife remarried or dating? I'm just catching up on these comments. But yeah, did you have any other inquiries, St. Kitts?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you for letting me on. This was very informational.
no worries. I'm glad I can help you out and give you a little bit of insight into the way, the U.S. Family court system and the U.S. legal system. So yeah, I'm pretty sure the UK is not too far off, but yeah, both Western society. So for sure. Yeah, she got off there quick. And I'm gonna bring you on in a second, man. I'm just reading these comments to catch up on them here. We've been on a little bit over an hour. My ex-wife still wants to be with me. She said, ain't nothing out there. So I had this up on here for a while. So I just wanted to address it. The grass is never really greener. A lot of times it's women tend to think, obviously this hypergamous mindset that you're going to find back-to-back men to take care of you. This isn't the celebrity world or real housewives of Atlanta or Hollywood, where you constantly are encountering multiple men that's going to take care of you. That's not real life. You know what I'm saying? You probably get one chance, maybe two chances. And the second chance is usually a simp if you already got kids. Yeah, it's not it said, and a lot of women have to learn that firsthand. It's not a lot of dudes out here, a lot of good men out here. And you look at how you outnumber men a lot of times, and the fact that a lot of men are in prison and a lot of men are gay. So you being all specific with this itemized list of what a man should be, and baby, hey, shout out to D. Fortner. You don't learn women until you get in those streets. It's facts. I was the same way. She played on my dad's death. She acted like she was there for me and used me to get here. And after she did, oh my God, do I have a story to tell? Same way, bro. I learned after. You about yourself through other people. You learn about yourself through other people. Facts. Is your ex-wife remarried or in the dating market? Kevin Samuels seems to suggest that many divorced women should have stuck it out instead of thinking that the grass is green. That's pretty common. I think a lot of women realize that. I think she's still with, I really don't get into her business. It's none of my business, but I think she's still with that old ass married man. Yo, dude is in his 60s, I think. But shout out to him to get a young side piece, even though her birthday is tomorrow. She'll be 39. My ex-wife will be 39 tomorrow. Shout out to her. I know she's watching. But yeah, I think her boyfriend is, I think he's early 60s. I don't know, man. I guess she's shooting bad. So, I mean, you'd have to ask her, man. I don't know. Her life definitely went down. I don't think it improved any other than her freedom, if you will, but she's still paying child support to this day. Yes, here's the caller, got positive vibes and knows how to listen. She's good people. Yep. She said, how did you know a Caribbean accent? Damn, that's the hardest shit to determine, a Caribbean accent, huh? Definitely wasn't a UK accent. She must have just got over there. JR pimping all over the world. Not at all, man. She asking for a friend or herself. I'm banking on the letter. Get the game free, though. Damn, dude just hopped off. I was just about to bring you on, man. You just hopped off? Oh, well. I know a woman who receives $400K a year in alimony for life from her wealthy surgeon ex-husband. You got to be wealthy as hell to be bringing in $400K a year. For her to be bringing in $400K for alimony. The fuck? You probably got other stuff going on. She trying to pick up game. Shit, why not? And he's still not helping her until this day. I don't know. Maybe he helping her by giving her somebody to talk to. I don't know. Definitely ain't helping her with child support. So I don't know don't know how to make sound decisions. Hell, they don't even know what they want to eat. That's why it's good to have fathers in the lives, man. So let me go ahead and bring this. I don't know if this is a man or a woman, but
hey, man, why you just tried me like that?
Excuse me?
Tried me. You just called me a woman.
I said I don't know who you are, man. But take me off of the thing in the background. You got a echo going on.
I'm up. Well, it's a little funky. All right, I just muted it. Yeah, to share some stories on divorces.
You still got an echo going on.
Yeah, I just muted it. Should be gone.
Okay, I can hear you clear now. It's still echoing though.
Oh, yeah, it just be my connection. But is the topic just divorce? We just sharing stories.
What you got, man?
Well, I got a well, pretty much. I know at least 3 in my life that I know four women I know personally that I've in pornos and or like web sites, things like that. Also wanted to talk to you about Brittany Renner, just because I was watching earlier about her response to cameos and her crazy ass reaction.
Bro, we just talking about divorce right now, man. You know what I'm saying? If you got a story about divorce, come with it, or a situation. We're not talking about Brittany Renner. I appreciate you though.
I just want to talk. Divorce. I never even been married. I got a manager who she was a fucking porn star. I got fucking an ex. I seen her ass in Winston Bear videos. Told you about the one cam. For me, it's like, why the fuck would I ever get married? You know, women have in their like, there's a lot of shit that women just don't tell you. I just getting married. By the time I just wanted to share the story.
Okay, so you just wondering. Yeah, that was definitely that Cricket Wireless internet. Damn. Um. Yeah, if you had a story, guys, just keep it to divorce or whatever. But you know, bro, want to get on here and talk about Brittany Renner? God damn. Y'all go watch that Brittany Renner video, guys. I'm gonna come with a few more. I'm dropping a couple after this video tonight. Out on Brittany Renner, but y'all stay tuned, man. So yeah, man, I'm not deterring. This video was not to deter anyone from getting married. I just wanted to let you guys know my experience and what happened to me personally. I'm glad I got out of it, even though it took 2 years and it was quite the thing. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what we got here, man. What's up, bro? What you got, man?
Ooh, we doing divorce stories?
Yeah. What you got?
That's let's see. You want to do the one that I grew up and had to deal with, or the one that I dealt with here during the pandemic?
Let me
You
hear
want
the
the
one. Let me hear the one you dealt with personally.
Okay. Here in Germany,
Shout out to
I
Germany. I used to live there.
oh yeah, it's great here. It
I
really
used to live
is.
in Kaiser. I used to live in Kaiserslautern.
Is okay. I've been here 7 years, and that's the first time I've heard that name. That sounds like a coastline, but okay.
Kaiserslautern.
Kaiserslautern. Okay. Please.
Kaiserslautern.
Kaiserslautern.
Slautern. It's the biggest U.S. city outside of America. K-Town.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. I've never heard
Yeah, I
the
was about to say how
possible.
you didn't hear. How you American and never heard of Kaiserslautern? Sheesh. But yeah,
Hey, Berlin and Yam. That's pretty much where I made most of my money.
I got you. But yeah,
But
let's hear it though, bro. You over there? You over there? You was married to a German?
actually, yeah, I've been here for 7 years. I didn't actually get married. We almost did, but I had a pretty much a close. I've been here 7 years. It was pretty much a marriage because I've
Okay.
been here and sponsored and blah blah blah. And I was about to marry her, but I ended up not marrying her because her temper. I couldn't really ever get a hold on it, and I always told
Mm-hmm.
her when we argue, you can't hit me. Like, and I couldn't believe I had to tell this to a woman. It was my first time actually being with a white person ever. I've been with sisters all
Yeah.
my life. Sisters will kind of go crazy, but they wouldn't ever hit me. And this woman would argue, and I'm like, look, if I hit you back, I know what happens as a black man and a white woman. I'm deported. I lose my family. I don't see my kids. Like, you have the power as like, you have to know when we argue, you can't hit me because if I ever hit you back, it's over.
Right.
And uh, she couldn't understand it. One time, the last time, it was I put the eggshells in the wrong container, and I'm like, it was like 6:30 in the morning because you know they recycle like crazy here.
Yeah.
And I'm with my daughter, and I'm like, she's like, you put the eggshells in the wrong container. I'm like, yo, it's 6:30. What the like? Why are we having this conversation? Like, I'm just trying to get the kid ready for school. And she got mad, and I'm like, yo, like, why are we fighting at 6:30 in the morning? She's like, don't. I'm like, don't. She's like, don't curse, and I'm like, it's probably worse that you're yelling at 6:30 in the morning. And she's like, and then she just hit me, and I'm just like, and I almost hit her back, and so I just left her, and I was just like, yo, I can't do this. So after I left her, she tried to do that whole typical, he's a drug dealer, he's aggressive, he abused the kids, and I'm like,
He's a
wait,
black man.
yeah. So I'm like, wait, whoa, hold the fuck, sorry, hold up. But thank God I had voice recordings because I'm lazy. I don't text. I do voice recordings and like send.
Right.
So I had plenty of evidence about her being abusive, her everything. And so I got 50-50 custody. And because she lied so much, now I'm here being paid from the government and her until my kids are 18. So I say all this now. I learned, and I've even told some of my other friends, like, black men, you guys really kind of have to start looking globally
Right.
about which system will protect you the most. And there's not a lot of systems that protect your fatherhood. And I
Right.
learned that socialism is really one of the great ones, or you have to be like in a third world country. Because
Yeah.
I've been seeing this bartending all my life. This is the one thing that makes men break down is what happens after love. Like we all love love. We really do. But we all are terrified from seeing what happened to the fathers we don't know,
Right.
the uncles, our cousins, our friends, our peers. We've all seen what happens. We've all seen that it's almost impossible to really reach any level of high value if you have like baby mothers or like, you know, a child out of wedlock. It's almost impossible to ever really reach your potential. And I think a lot of Black men generally want to be married, but we just know what happens in the divorce. And I've
Right.
always brought this up to women. It's like if if modern women made this step, it would really melt the hearts of so many men, which was just simply, look, we understand this court system is not great for men. So we as women are going to step up and let go of some of our rights that we feel are completely out of bounds. Because it just should be simple that if we have a breakup, let's start from 50-50 custody and go from there. It's the same way that
Yeah.
TL said.
Yeah.
Because that's logic. It really is. And I've seen too many men. I almost had my children taken away from me on a bullshit lie just because that's the power that women can do.
Yep.
And the only reason I am here still is because I had that random evidence of me recording. If I didn't, the lies that she told would have actually happened. And I learned that this happened to most African men here.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that many African men here have been here and had children. And then when they break up, the German women end up saying the same story. I talked to many mixed kids here who are younger, and they all looked at me like, you know, because I was a bartender, like, my dad was American, I didn't know, or my dad, I don't know. And I hear the same story. Oh, my dad, he didn't want to be around. He was doing drugs. He was a drug dealer. He was abusive. I'm like, wait a minute. This is the same. Y'all got the same. It's the same template for every single mixed kid
Yeah.
who doesn't know his father. So I was like, okay, I kind of saw it. I kind of, you know, everything from 2020 really made everything so much more clear.
Right.
And I think that's really what's a lot of the underlying issues with the marriage. After 2020, we've all seen it. I think a lot of people had a complete flip where it's like, okay, we see the system is not really meant for us. We see that maybe these women aren't even for us.
Right.
We saw that many people saw their kids. They don't real. Well, I don't recognize these kids. The internet and TV is raising my kids too much. I need to step up now. In 2020, if you didn't have a complete 180, you probably missed what the hell was going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Facts. Shit, that's what's up, man. You know what I mean? You know, I'm glad you got there's a Black man taking advantage of the system, especially in a especially in a foreign over in Germany takes care of their people, but it's good to hear a man, you know, till you're 18, till you said till they're 18. Goodness. Sheesh.
And
Yeah,
they're
man.
5-2. 5-2.
That's socialism.
I'm killing.
That's when socialism works, guys. When socialism works.
It really does.
Not that the US, you know, doesn't it. We're heavily you know, a socialist yeah. Capitalistic, but we have socialistic programs. That's what I meant to say, capitalistic earlier, but it was when I said it's on the tip of my tongue. But when I was talking to the young lady earlier, you know, that's why family court, because this is a capitalistic society in the US. So they're gonna make their coins off top, man. But yeah, man, much wishes to you. You need to check out K-Town when you get a chance. Kaiserslautern, man.
I
You
will.
know.
I will. Great stream, great channel. Always got great content. You got great reactions. Just help me out real quick. You know, as you know, light skin. My family, we all Simpson babies. I'm the darkest. Hey,
Yeah.
man. How I get it back, man? How I get it back, man? Help me out.
Hey,
bro.
man. Hey, check out the videos. I got this. You know, the beard doesn't.
You got beard tutorials.
Nah, the beard doesn't go anywhere, man. And this is the offshoot. You can watch the videos. I got 2 videos. You're not that far from Turkey, so you just fly out to Turkey, man. Go get it done. But yeah, just look that up.
All right, I'm gonna look it up, man. I will.
Yeah, look it up, man. Just type in JR Wisdom. You know, damn, FUE.
Got you.
Nah, not toupee. Just type in FUE. This is my hair, bro.
Okay, I don't want a Fox Sports dude. I don't want to be looking.
Nah. This is my hair. This is all my hair. So, and it grows too. So, yeah.
That's what
But
that's
yeah,
what
this
just
is
bears in rice water,
yeah,
right?
it's all natural, man. But yeah, man, that's how you do it. You know what I
Gotcha.
mean? All
I
right.
would because that last dude was kind of trolling you. I thought he was about to do some stupid shit, so I was like, let me go ahead and see if I can just come on and try to keep the flow going
Nah,
from your last caller. All right, man.
nah. All right, bro. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Thanks.
No problem.
What's up? What's
Pete,
up?
what's happening, man? What's happening with you, man? What's happening?
Man, my story just like yours, man. I never thought she'd do anything like that, bro. See, bro, when I say I was but to delete both of us, though, I was there. I was at like a 10, dog.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel you, bro. I mean, she played me on my daddy's death, act like she was there for me, told me how she went through it when her mom died 2 years before. Dude, and the way my daddy died, me and him got an argument that Friday, right? I called him on Sunday to make up, you know what I'm saying? We weren't hearing each other. So, man, I called him, the police answered the phone and said he was unresponsible on the floor. So by the time we got down, I'm in Dallas from New
Right.
Orleans. We get down there to New Orleans. He gone. You see what I'm saying? He on life support. So we had to unplug, we had to hit the switch.
Right.
Man, that still messed me up. Then she came in like a wrestler, like when wrestlers be wrestling, the other one come and interfere and finish you off. That's the way I felt, though. I mean, I felt like, oh man, it was like, man, if I tell you the stuff she did, bro, y'all wouldn't even believe the stuff, though.
Yeah,
Bro,
hey, I don't put nothing
Lifetime,
past a woman, but go ahead.
Lifetime, and Tyler Perry couldn't even put a better script together, dog.
Oh yeah.
I won't make a movie out of this and write a book, bro. These women are deadly, dog. And dudes who claim, well, you should have did this, you should have did that.
Yeah.
You don't know until you fall in that water with the sharks, man.
Yeah, yeah,
And,
yeah.
and feel it. I mean, and all they tell you to do, get over it, move on, and let her keep on doing destruction to everybody. Then she left me for a bum. Dude don't work, don't do
They
nothing.
always do. They always do.
Yo, bro. And the thing about it, if you look at a lot of people don't even believe she did. Man, if you look at it, she's so sweet, so innocent looking, so girl next door is looking, and that's the ones who get you.
Yeah.
And then the most messed up part about it, when you feel like by yourself, nobody want to talk to you, that everybody mad at you for exposing them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bro, we got it bad, man.
Yeah.
And can't say
Hey.
nothing about it. But if you don't mind, I left y'all little comments up in the little section. I'm trying to get my podcast off the ground, and I wouldn't mind, somebody, you be my guest or whatever it is. I'm trying to get my
Yeah,
name
man.
out.
Whatever. Yeah, I got my contact information, man. On it. Whatever, just hit me up, man. You
Yeah,
know
I
what I'm
got one
saying?
at 9 tonight called Mental Monday. So I'm gonna
That's right.
go through some of the stuff that you're going through right now. I'm trying to make it big, like yo, man. On top of I got $1 million spot, but I'm not $1 million yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nah,
I'm trying to get that
I definitely haven't made it big, but yeah, I hear what you're saying. You know what I
because I need
mean?
the super chats. That's all I need. If I can get the super chats, man, I'll be good. And
Yeah.
you gotta get like what 1,000 1,000 subs and 5,000 watch hours, something like that.
Yeah.
I'm real low, so yeah, I'm trying to get mine off the ground.
Yeah, you'll get it, man. You'll get it. But yeah, that's you just gotta keep on moving, man. That's that whole thing got you you made it through on to the next. On
Bro,
to the next,
you learn a lot from that too, man. I'm 49, bro, and I went through it in my 40s, bro. And bro, it was like, damn, why do wait so late to go? 'Cause I never had old lady. I had a baby mama, but I never got serious
Yeah.
until I got with her. I was just having fun, you know what I'm saying? I tell her what I wanted, and that was that until I found her, and I thought she was better than that, man.
Right. Exactly.
And she just like, bro, she pulled out the sword, just thought, bad. She just, bro, yeah. So,
Yeah.
man, fellas, just be careful out there, y'all. Don't let a big button, a smile, and manipulation fool you, man. Don't trust them, bro. Don't trust them. And it's very hard to find them out, bro. They will manipulate you so good, make you think you on the top of the world. They'll make you think you the best she ever had and everything, right? And all of a sudden, as soon as she get bored with you and find that other dude, she gonna start arguments. So when they start arguments, dude, leave, get up out there. I ain't saying one argument. I'm saying if it constantly go on, leave. For nothing, leave, dog. Just chalk it up to the home team. Chalk that L up, move on. Before you get too deep in that, because I got too deep, dog. And
What's your channel name? I'm gonna go ahead and just type it in here. What is it?
The $1 Million Spot.
That's the $1 Million Spot.
That's my name on there. Yeah, just go ahead on it and click to it and everything on there. Yeah, so I'm trying to do something like Fresh and Fit, since they do it in their apartment. I'm doing it outside my apartment. I have a big ass balcony, and I put a tour, show a tour of it. If I can get that popping, man, bro, I invite all the content creators down here. Come on, y'all, let's just run it.
I see you right here. I was just looking for your link here. So
you got it.
I got your link here. I'm gonna post it in the chat, y'all. Obviously, because somebody asked, y'all go subscribe to his channel here. And
I got one at 9 tonight. I got women Wednesday on Wednesdays, and free game for fellas on Friday. So I give everybody a free game, but I also tell the truth too, because I'm an equal opportunity ass kicker. You know what I'm saying? Hey, whoever wrong, I'm gonna call it out. But these women, dog, they're just not getting called out enough. And we gotta do it. You know what I'm saying? We can't be scared to say what we gotta say.
Gotcha.
And don't let them manipulate y'all. Hey, say what y'all gotta say, bro. Just say it. Just put it out there. No matter the shaming language and all that. Don't fall for that.
Right.
That's pretty much all I gotta say, y'all.
No worries, man. I appreciate you coming on, man.
No problem at all, man. Appreciate you.
We'll talk to him, bro.
For sure.
All right, later. All right. Yes, sir. There you have it. So it's been real, folks. That's pretty much all I wanted to discuss. You heard a few stories on here. Just think first before you move. 12-year anniversary wedding. Everyone's saying congrats. Little do they know we close to getting a divorce. Hey. True, I had a girl manipulate me into letting her stay with me as a roommate. I'll never live with another woman again. Hey, you live and you learn, man. That's what these quote unquote red pill channels and men's help is to let you know experiences so you don't have to go through it yourself, man. Once again, I appreciate all the super chats, guys. Everybody tuned in, everybody giving their story, so on and so forth. I'm gonna try to drop 2 to 3 videos after this one. I should have already dropped them already. So y'all stay tuned, check those out. I got a couple coming up. If you guys haven't picked up my books, I wrote several books, guys, on credit, establishing credit, on law of attraction, how to change your life immediately. I'm not a salesman. I'm just telling you, you know, it's a few dollars. Instead of a super chat, you guys could pick up one of those books. You're trying to establish credit. You're trying to build credit. You're trying to shift your paradigm, trying to change your mindset to attract what you want at will. I got those, the law of attraction for the pessimistic mind. I got the book I was telling you about, Puppeteering with Heartstrings. It's about my first year being separated from, you know, what I was telling you guys. If you guys are interested in the story I told y'all, that's about the first year of my story. It's in there as well. Got a fitness one there as well. You guys can check it out. If you guys haven't picked up any of my t-shirts yet, man, y'all go click on the link, man. Get you a Reform Simp t-shirt, get you a Red Pill Popper t-shirt, get you an Ascended t-shirt, get you a CEO t-shirt, get you a Beloved t-shirt, get you several t-shirts to choose from, guys. Go ahead and pick one up right now. Linktree, it's right there. I'm gonna put it in the chat here as well. It's also in the description of this video. So there you have it, man. If you guys want to book a one-on-one, hit me up on Linktree as well. My Calendly link is on there. You guys set that up. If you're looking to purchase a house in the great state of South Carolina, hit me up. Book a one-on-one. We can go over your options, so on and so forth. I'm also a realtor out here. You guys looking to purchase. And with that being said, man, as usual, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hit me up. Email me any topics or reaction videos you guys like me to do. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, all social media platforms. The link is in the description as well. And as always, man, peace be upon you all. Remember, anything lost can be found again except for time wasted. Peace, blessings, Mercy and blessings of the Almighty. And I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. I'm out of here, man. Shout out to everybody who's showing support lately. New and old subscribers, man. I'm out of here. You guys have a good night. Check out these videos I'm about to post too, by the way. Peace.